moving on to where we left off in the last video, we go to our text tool. So if you click on the text, you get this box here. Let's type, I love my Cricut. Okay, but I don't want these all on the same line. So I'm going to click here in front of the M, and a habit would be to click here, but you have to click in your box, and I'm going to hit enter. And that's going to put it on a second line. And then I'm going to select my text, and I'll move it up here so you can see it. And with it selected, I now have the options up here in the options menu, okay? What I call the options menu. You have your text, which you can change. One thing to note, that if it is a Cricut font and you have not purchased it and it is not free with your access, it will tell you how much it costs here, $4.99, and it also tells you if it's a multi-layer. And a multi-layer, well, let me just click on it and I'll show you. Over here in your layers panel, you'll see you have two layers, but one is shut off. So if I turn that on and I turn it red, you'll see that it's what most of us call a shadow layer, okay? So if I were to cut this in two colors of vinyl, the bottom layer, let me ungroup this and select just the white, you'll see that there's a little bit larger an offset, and then you can have this, you know, wherever you want it. You can have the shadow here or here, or, you know, you can select it all, and you can go to align center, and it will put it back where it belongs, and then you can group it again. Okay, now because I've done that, I have no more options up here. Once you ungroup your text, you don't have those options anymore. So let me go back to undo until I get back to the font that was not a shadow layer. Okay, now if I double click, I get my box. I can change this to whatever I want. Let's say that I wanted to enter some more text. I love my Cricut. I can go to my text tool here and I get my box, or I can just double click and I'll get my, well, actually, let's duplicate this first in the layers panel, duplicate. And then I can double click on it and I can change it to whatever I want it to say. Because, okay, that's one way that you can add some more text without actually going to your text tool. Just duplicate this and double click and type in what you want. Okay, so now I have all my options back, and let's go back to the font. You can filter those through either your system fonts, which are only the fonts that are installed on your computer, or only the Cricut fonts. You can type in a name. So let's say I type in Impact. It's not going to give me anything. Why? Because it's not a Cricut font. I have to go to System Fonts, and there it is. Okay. So let's go ahead and choose that by hitting Enter, or actually clicking on it. All right. And then let's say I want this one to be a different font. So I'm going to go back to here, but I don't see my Cricut fonts, and I don't see all my system fonts. Well, that's because you're in the search here. You have to X out of that, okay? And then either go to all, system, or Cricut. Okay, so that's that. All right, now if I select this again, then I have my style, regular, bold, italic, and bold italic. Now you won't have these for every font. It just depends on the font. Some of them might not have a bold option or an italic option, okay? And then you have your font size. You can resize it here, or you can click on this arrow, hold your mouse key down, and size it that way. And then you have letter spacing. You can lower this. You have to click it each time. You can't click and hold it. And it scoots your letters together. Or your line spacing, if I click on that, it moves them closer together. I have alignment where I can align left, which it is aligned left now. I can align center, or I can align right. Let me go back to center because that bugs me. And then I have advanced. I can ungroup letters and or ungroup the lines. Well, actually, or ungroup the lines. Because once you ungroup the letters, you can't ungroup the lines. Now, once you do this, or you ungroup over here, you no longer have these options, okay? So keep that in mind. So let's just go ahead and ungroup the lines. And now this is on its own layer, and this is on its own layer. Let me undo that. All right, and look in the layers panel. Let me get rid of this one. I only have one layer here, okay? This here is a layer. All right, so if I select this and I go to ungroup the lines, now I have two layers, this one and this one, okay? But we'll get more into the layers panel in the next video. I just wanted to show you these options here. All right, so let's go to advanced and let's ungroup letters. Now you see what happened? Now I have all of these layers because each letter is on its own layer. This one is a line, so it's still only on one layer, but all of these, if you watch this, when I click on the letters, it will gray, it'll highlight what letter I'm working on. Now, if I want to select more than one, if I hold my shift key and I select those two, you can see that the I and the E are the only one that's selected, even though the box is around the entire thing. If I click on this E and I change it to red, it's only going to change, let me go back. I didn't mean to do that. Hold your shift key and you have these two selected, as you can see, the I and the E. Then if I click on the E to change the color, it's only going to select the E. So even though you had them, you know, both selected over here, you had to click on only one to change the color, okay? So let me change this one to red as well, all right? And I'm working along and I decide I don't want those colors like that. I want them to change back. So you just click on it and change it back. And there's another way to change it back, and I'll show you that once we get into the layers panel. I just wanted to go over the text toolbar here. Okay, so let me go ahead and get rid of that, and we'll go over the layers panel later. All right, so now we have shapes. Insert a square. I can insert a circle. I can insert a heart. All right, I can insert as many as I want. And obviously it didn't insert my heart, so let's try that again. There we go. And you can resize these. You can unlock the proportions, so you can resize it that way. You can lock it back. You can rotate it and you can do this for anything that's selected, or you can delete it. Okay, you have those 4 options for anything that is selected. All right, let me get rid of this one. And you also, in your shapes, you have a score line. So if you're a card maker and you want to add score lines to have your Cricut score for you, you can do that. It's not always the easiest thing to select, but okay. So now let me select both of these and let me go to align and let me align center. Okay. And then let me select this again. I'll move it down just a tad and up just a tad. And then I'm going to select them both. I'm going to go over here to the layers panel and I'm going to attach them. And now they're attached. And if I were to cut this, it would ask me for my score stylus to be inserted into my machine, and it's going to score a line there so that it's easier to fold. All right, so that's that. And then we have upload images. Now, I kind of went through this, but when you hit upload images, you have images that you've worked on already. You can view them all by clicking view all here, or you can upload an image or upload a pattern. So let's go to upload an image. And then you can, if you have one on your desktop or you have, your file manager open, you can drag and drop it, or you can click browse and look through your computer for them that way and then click open. And it will insert it here. And then you just click continue and it will insert it into the canvas here. Okay. And I'm going to have to go over upload images in more detail in the next video because, again, I only have 15 minutes and I'm at 12 and a half. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just go ahead and start another video with upload images so I can really get into detail with that for you guys. So thanks for watching and join me in the next video.